Are you looking for affordable office space in Marion? The professional building located at 685 Delaware Avenue is the place for you. For more information, call 740-383-6803. Office space is now available. Again, telephone number 740-383-6803.
Good day. I'm Marianne Michaels, and I am substituting as a hostess for Scott Spears, and I have a very special guest with me, a young man whom I am really anxious to talk to. His name is Austin Jacob. And Austin, what high school? I think you probably went to River Valley.
Correct. I went to River Valley High School.
And you graduated from River Valley High School, and you're going to graduate from college.
Yes.
When?
May 19th.
May 19th.
Exact. Yes.
And what college?
University of Maryland. It's in College Park, Maryland.
Oh, that's a great college.
Yes.
Yeah. Bet your parents are very proud of you.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I interviewed your sister, Katie, one time.
Yes, I remember.
And that was a really good interview. We interviewed her at your house.
Correct. Yeah.
And we thought we had the good two cameras here to do it this way.
Okay.
Well, we're going to talk about something very, very special. We're going to talk about the Peace Corps. And the Peace Corps, we don't hear as much about the Peace Corps these days for some reason. And you are going to volunteer into the Peace Corps.
Correct.
And I'll just give a little bit of background about the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps is made up of volunteers who go overseas to make real differences in certain societies and in the lives of real people, actually. And it was started back, I think it was established in 1961.
Correct.
By President
Kennedy.
Yeah.
John F.
John F. Kennedy. And then it was okayed by the Congress, obviously. So it's been in existence quite a while.
Yes, they had a big 50-year celebration.
They did have.
Recently.
Yes, they did have. And Austin, first of all, what did you major in college?
So my major in college is called Fire Protection Engineering.
Wow,
I've
like never heard of that.
A niche engineering field that is actually, at Maryland, it's the only in the country, it's the only undergraduate program for fire protection. So it's kind of it's just like civil, just like mechanical engineering. It's just really geared towards fire protection, and that goes for all types of buildings and even on ships. You know, every thing that's built is protected from fire, whether it's just getting people out safely or the sprinklers, the smoke alarms, everything.
You've just taught me something today.
Yes, oh, good.
I never ever heard of that particular degree.
And neither had I, to be honest. I kind of just looked at it, looked into it more when I got to school there. I was interested in engineering anyways.
Right.
So I looked around, and this one caught my attention absolutely. So
that is totally interesting. So I know what you're going to do in the Peace Corps. You're going to help technically because I think their mission is to help countries with their technical things and to show them the American culture and for you to show their culture to the world.
Yes, absolutely.
But that's a sacrifice too for you, Austin, really, because you're giving up your first year out of college to help other people, and I'm really impressed. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
What made you decide that you wanted to go?
It's kind of a few things came together. First of all, I'd have to say that my parents and my grandmother have taken me to a lot of places around the world. So I've traveled a lot, and I've always been interested in learning new cultures and just seeing what else is out there. And so that was, that's kind of been my whole life. And then that led into a study abroad experience I got to do in 2011 called Semester at Sea. And how Semester at Sea works is it's an old cruise ship that they've converted into a university. So
wow.
there's room for 800 students and about 200 faculty. And how it works is for 1 month I traveled through Central America. We stopped at 7 countries in about 28 days. And so we have class when we're at sea for 2 days, and then we dock in a country for 2 days, and we go around and explore. go back to class, go to the next country. And so I took a civil engineering course called Water and Sanitation, and it focused on getting water to certain parts of third world countries where it's really not easy to get water, and then sanitation comes along with that. And so that also kind of, and this was the first time where I got to see third world countries and actually go in these communities and really see how these people are living. And that kind of just got my wheels spinning as far as, what can I do to help these people? What can I do with my engineering degree to help these people advance? And so that happened. I did some more traveling, and it kind of just started stirring in my head, and then Peace Corps really just started taking over, and I just went into it full force.
Oh, that's wonderful. And do you realize how important something like that is going to be in your future? Because people are going to look at you and say, hey, you were willing to give up. Now, how long are you going to be there? Because I know that you can be there for weeks or you can be there for a year,
Yeah,
right?
so it's actually, they expect a 27-month commitment.
Wow.
So how it works is the first 3 months or 10 weeks is all my training, and that's in country. So I get all this training, and then my next 2 years are all my service.
Okay, and we should say what country you're going to go to.
Yeah, so I'm going to Ghana in Africa.
Wow.
Western Africa, sub-Saharan.
Do you have a little bit of trepidation?
Absolutely. It's still sinking in that I'm going, and that it's going to be 2 years, and I still can't wrap my head around it.
Oh, 2 years. I was thinking only 1 year. 2 years. That's a real commitment, Austin. Now, do you know how many others will be there with your contingent?
So they don't tell us exactly, but how it will pretty much work is I think there's about 25 education volunteers with me, and we will train together for the first 10 weeks, and then after that they spread us out across the country. So I will most likely be the only volunteer in my community. So I'm there on my own, and so all of us education volunteers spread out. It's not like 5 or 10 of us working together. They spread us out so we can really cover the country.
Well, now let me see. I know Africa, but I'm trying. Is it kind of Central Africa?
It's Western and sub-Saharan. So it's
sub-Saharan.
Yeah. So the big part of Western Africa sticks out. It's on the bottom of that, on the coast. It has a coastal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm excited.
I would be excited too, and your parents are probably. I'm sure you're. I'm a parent, and I would think, oh, I don't know if I could be without my son for 2 years.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a wonderful experience for you. And I did a little bit of research because I knew I was going to be doing this interview, and as I said, when it was established, and I guess over 210,000 Americans have joined the Peace Corps.
Okay.
And have served in 139 countries. Why did you choose Africa?
Well, actually, how the process works is you fill out this long application, and it takes a while, a lot of steps, and what they want you to go into this without caring where you're placed.
Yeah.
So they want you to be open to anything, to any job they want to put you in any country they want you to be in. And so I went into it without knowing where I would be placed, and I went into it, since I knew that's how it was, I didn't want to get my hopes set for any certain continent or country.
Well, that was a smart thing to do,
yes.
Austin.
So, and that's what they advised, and I took their advice. So when they told me Ghana, Africa, I kind of expected Africa because they told me they needed education volunteers there a lot, but I really didn't know. So it was.
And you have never been to Africa.
Correct, I have not been.
Okay, so that's one place you hadn't been. So
yes.
That's kind of neat too.
Yes.
I understand that other areas of the world are like the Caribbean. They have some Peace Corps in the Caribbean, Mexico, South America, Central Asia and Asia, the Middle East.
Correct.
And that would be kind of really scary, I think.
It would,
go
especially
to the
around
Middle East.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm glad you're not going there.
Yeah.
And the Pacific Islands, even.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of notable veterans of the Peace Corps come back, and there's all kinds of people that have been involved. I know that there are diplomats that have been in the Peace Corps. There have been members of Congress in the Peace Corps. educators, doctors, business leaders even, and writers, and the list goes on and on and on. And one of my favorite people whom I watch almost every day is Chris Matthews, and he's
Okay.
on MSNBC, and I know he's been in the Peace Corps
Oh, okay. I
because
didn't
he
know that.
talks about it quite often.
Uh-huh.
And the good thing is that that'll be a wonderful thing to put on your resume when you get out. What are your future plans after that? Or are you just thinking in probably the next 2 years?
That's tough. It's hard to even get past these
Well, sure
next
it
2
is.
years.
It-
So, I'm happy I'm gonna have this engineering degree as my basis, my foundation.
Sure.
So having an engineering degree, I'm gonna be very happy with, and the job market in fire protection is actually very high, even though not many people have heard of it.
Mhm.
So I'll have that, and then combined with my teaching experience and just community development is really my education and community development is really will be my title in Peace Corps. So when you combine those two things, I'm really hoping that when I'm there, I can really find out what I want those to
Sure.
combine
Oh.
to help me to do. I'm not sure yet, and it's
And that's perfectly
Yeah.
reasonable.
yeah, and I'm happy with how these two things are going to come together. And I'm sure that I'll find something.
Well,
that-
now, were you interviewed? I mean, how did you start the process of becoming a volunteer?
So you start out with a pretty lengthy application. It's
Yeah.
an online application, and it's
So you got it online?
yes,
Okay.
online. All these essays and all this, they do the full background check and everything. So you do that. You wait for a response from that, and you go in for an interview. And I went into headquarters in Washington, D.C., since I'm close enough there. So I went in there, had my interview, and from that point, they can nominate you. The person that interviewed you can nominate you. They would say, I believe that this person is suitable to volunteer. And these people that interview you have already served in the Peace Corps, so they know what it takes.
Oh, of course.
So when they interview you, they can see, I nominate this person to serve. That nomination is not a guarantee, though, however. So how it works is a country will have to contact Peace Corps and say, we need a person with maybe an engineering degree that can teach math. And if some country reaches out to Peace Corps that way and it fits the time frame, then Peace Corps will tell me, you're invited to serve in this country on this date. So it's kind of like it's a really unique process. I didn't expect that at all. I had to look into it, and it's cool that the country will contact Peace Corps rather than Peace Corps asking a country if they need help.
That's interesting. And
Yeah.
they do want certain individuals because, you have to be able to live in a so-called foreign environment. And
Exactly.
there are some people that wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, and they're you don't get paid, but they're covering all my expenses.
Well, of course,
so they
they
want to
have
make
to.
sure that if they're going to invest in me, that I can complete my service, and hopefully I can.
Okay, now what about language?
So the
What about the
language
language?
is
Yeah.
it's actually if you look it up on Wikipedia or whatever, it's actually English is their primary language.
Good.
That, however, is only in the capital of in
Yeah.
Accra, they'll mostly speak English, and I think they'll teach it in certain villages and stuff. But the actual country language is Twi, Twi,
Never heard of it.
and there are 10 different dialects
Oh,
throughout
my.
the country. So if I wanted to get ahead and start learning this language, I've been advised not to because
Mhm.
I could learn
Why
one
would you?
dialect and then I get sent to a different part of the country where it's this dialect. And so it really is counterproductive. We'll learn the language in the first
As
10
you
weeks.
go. Yeah, well, in your training.
Yeah, in
I'll
the
bet
training.
the training will be really
Absolutely. The training is
unbelievable.
safety training. It's just cultural immersion. It's the language. And it also will teach me how to teach since I'm going to be in education.
Well, it just sounds unbelievable,
Yeah.
Austin. Everybody is so proud of you. W- Are any of your friends interested in this? I mean, do you have any buddies that want to do the same thing?
I haven't. When I started diving into this and thinking about it, I was bouncing it off a few people and hoping that I would get some positive reactions from other people saying, "Oh, I want to do that too." And along the way, people have said that, and I have found a couple more distant friends that I've met in some other travels that are actually applying as well. But I had none of my close friends have done it, but that's fine. It really, I mean, it's not for everyone, and I completely understand that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be for everyone.
Yeah.
I think it takes a very special kind of person to do that. What do you think your living conditions will be like?
That's certainly
You-
that's a
it's
great
kind of a
question.
question mark,
So
isn't it?
yes, but they do tell us that as a teacher, I or whatever your position is, you can't live any higher than the other people in that position in that village.
Yes.
So we do get sent to the worst parts of the country. So I could potentially be in a very remote village, in which case electricity will be limited. I'm told though that as a teacher, I will probably have electricity. Now that electricity is in and out, doesn't always
Oh, of
work.
course.
I've been told that running water is almost a complete no. So I will most likely have to retrieve my water from a well, take a shower take a bucket bath, do my laundry by hand, and I'll just I'll have to do my homework I got a headlamp. They said buy a headlamp and maybe just even buy candlelight to do my work and stuff.
Oh,
So it's certainly going to be
You're going
a
to be
shock
like a
just for
settler.
living. Yeah.
You'll
Yeah,
live like a
exactly.
settler, won't you?
Yeah, so
That-
I'm leaving behind all those commodities, air conditioning, running water, you name it.
Oh, everything. Yes.
But I'm excited for that. I really am excited to live it. I wouldn't want to live at a higher level than the other teachers anyway. I want to.
No, you wouldn't.
I want to really fully
wanna
immerse. That's how it's supposed to
Experience the way it should be
Exactly.
experienced.
be. Exactly.
Now, are you going to have opportunity to write your parents or even call your parents? I mean, is that a I mean, do they have cell phones there or what?
So for the most part, Ghana is actually one of the more advanced countries for West Africa. So most of them do have cell phones that work in the country. It just depends if you're in the northern part of Ghana is more remote,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I'm told the internet is very scarce. Phones work here and there, and that sort of thing. If you're in the capital, you
Yeah.
get internet in some internet cafes wherever you
Mhm.
want. Phones work. So I will most likely be able to contact people. They said Peace Corps told me no longer than 3 weeks at a time will I go
Yeah.
without contacting.
Oh,
And it could,
well, that's good.
But it also could be every day. I
Yeah.
could be able to send
Mhm.
an SMS text. Ghana actually just got this new capability where if you have Google Mail and you receive an email on your phone as a text message in Ghana now. So I could be emailed and receive it on my phone just as a normal text message. And so that's their new technology that they're really excited about. So that's definitely a positive right now.
Yeah, well, that sounds like it's at least
Yeah.
encouraging,
Yeah.
right? Well, I know your family are good Catholics. Is there any, are there any churches there that?
The main religion is Christianity. As far as Catholicism, I'm not exactly sure yet.
Yeah.
So it's mostly Christians, and then there's some. I think they're just a small percent of Muslims,
Hmm.
and
Well, I would think that there would probably be some priests, that go to Africa.
yeah, I'm
That's-
sure there'll be
yeah.
missions. I may come across some on my time. I'm not
Mhm.
sure, but yeah, I'm curious how the religion is. If every small village has a church, or I'm not
Yeah,
sure how it
it'd be
works.
interesting.
Yeah,
Well, when exactly are you going to go?
June 3rd.
June the 3rd.
June 3rd.
And you graduate when?
May 19th.
May
so I have
19th. So
two
you don't.
short weeks.
You don't. Oh. How do your friends react to this?
It's tough. Most people have, say, "Oh no, you can't leave. You can't leave." It's tough. They all support me 100%.
Oh,
And they
of course.
said, you're gonna have a great time. It's a great experience. But, at the same time, it's gonna be tough for me to leave everyone behind. And it's a big 2 years right after graduation. A lot of weddings
Yeah.
from family and friends, and
yeah.
so I will miss a lot of big events, which.
Mhm.
Hopefully, everything will be the same when I get back.
This is totally going to enrich your life. I am positive of that, Austin. Really,
I need to hear that from
Yes.
as many people as I can.
really.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I think, a sacrifice. It would be a sacrifice to me.
Mhm.
Would you believe my husband said I'm not too old to be in the Peace Corps?
You're not at
He
all.
said, why don't you go to the Peace Corps?
There's no age
I think he's
limit.
trying to get rid of me, Austin.
Yeah.
No, he was just teasing.
Yeah.
But I do have some statistics here. 62% of the Peace Corps are women,
Okay.
and only 38% are male.
Okay.
So,
I've odds are in my favor then, I guess.
yeah, in your favor. 93% are single,
Okay.
and only 7% are married. And 22% of the minorities volunteer for it. And volunteers over age 50, only 7%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think, that it would be somewhat of a hardship for a person over 50, but
Yes.
I guess they still do it. And then also the areas that are covered by the Peace Corps, which I'm sure you already know, are education, health, community economics, environment, youth development, community economic development, and agriculture.
Mhm.
And of course, the government pays for everything. And I just learned that the money is about $370 million.
Is that their budget?
Their budget is $375 million.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware.
That's the 2013 budget.
Hopefully it's worth the taxpayers' dollars.
Well, I think, I really think it's a very worthwhile thing. And I know your parents must be so proud of you. And my dear friend, your grandmother,
Yes, absolutely. Proud, nervous, you
she
name it.
is very proud of you as well. And Katie's doing. By the way, give me an update on Katie.
Kate is.
Because I interviewed Katie Jacob several years ago.
Yes.
And I know that she has a great job.
Yes, she's up in Toledo, Ohio right now. She's working for the AFL-CIO, the unions. And she actually had a huge part in the elections for re-electing.
I know she did.
For re-electing Barack Obama. She was working 7 days a week, 13-hour days, and she definitely put in her time back before the election for several months leading up to November. And she's doing well, and I'm actually going to go visit her tomorrow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And your mother and father are teachers, and they are dedicated people as well. So you come from a nice line of, and Norma Jacob, your grandmother, is also a great volunteer, and I can understand why you decided.
I can't thank my parents and my grandma enough for paving that path for me.
Oh, I'm sure.
Setting me on this
I'm
road.
sure, and I'm gonna get updates on you,
Good.
Austin.
Good.
And I wish you all kinds of luck.
Thank you
I
very
know
much.
you are going to be a stellar volunteer
Thank you.
for the Peace Corps.
Thank you.
I know.
I
And thanks for
appreciate it.
coming by and letting us
Oh,
talk
thank you
to
for
you.
having me.
And good luck.
Thanks.